This might not be the best time of the day to be making this video. A little more of a challenge because there's more sound coming from the outside, but it's a steady sound, so it might be a distraction for you. For me, it's not a problem. But I'm just letting you know. And while I'm saying these things, here is you look at the top shelves of my library, and it's basically in one language, but there were a couple of books in a different language that well, this is not in Hindi. This one is. And actually, I downloaded this, or I purchased this almost by mistake. And I thought, I'll keep it. What's the harm? I know how to read the language. And I know more than two languages. English is my second language, but it has become my first language. It so happened very early in life. So now English is pretty much, it is my first language. I even dream in English, so how much more of a first language could it be? So, I am going to open this book, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. And I have read this book further than this, but it's a book that I read a portion of and I go back and forth in it. It's one of those books. I do that in many books. And I read several books at a time. So it's just the way I do things. All right, we're in the third book. And these are the meditations. Of course, this is a translation, but it's in Old English, as much as is possible. Let's read the third book. A man must not only consider how daily his life wasteth and decreaseth, but this also, that if he live long, he cannot be certain whether his understanding shall continue so able and sufficient for either discreet consideration in matters of businesses, or for contemplation, it being the thing whereon true knowledge of things both divine and human doth depend. Let's stop here. The name of the book is Meditations, and the word used here, contemplation. Contemplation, it being the thing whereon true knowledge of things both divine and human doth depend. So think about that. Without contemplation, there is no true knowledge. Let's continue reading. For if once he shall begin to dote, his respiration, nutrition, his imaginative and appetitive, and other natural faculties may still continue the same, he shall find no want of them. But how to make that right use of himself that he should, how to observe exactly in all things that which is right and just, how to redress and rectify all wrong or sudden apprehensions and imaginations, and even of this particular, whether he should live any longer or no, to consider duly. For all such things wherein the best strength and vigor of the mind is most requisite, his power and ability will be past and gone. Thou must hasten therefore, not only because thou art every day nearer unto death than other. Let's read that again. Thou must hasten therefore, not only because thou art every day nearer unto death than other, but also because that intellective faculty in thee, whereby thou art enabled to know the true nature of things, and to order all thy actions by that knowledge, doth daily waste and decay, or may fail thee before thou die. Excuse me. So Marcus has a very realistic understanding of a human being and the faculties of a human being. He puts emphasis here on the intellective faculty and the decline thereof. In Marcus's thinking, that intellective faculty is essential to knowing the true nature of things. That is not something that everybody would agree with. Intellect is very important. It's vital, but it is a level of understanding. And I'm familiar with Eastern thinking, where, excuse me, where the thinking actually is even deeper than what Marcus has expressed. Because there the mention is made of what is beyond material. Of course, Marcus is also speaking of things like over here, all things that which is right and just. So he's talking about abstract. Right and just is not something which is limited or defined by the physical. We can physically represent right and just in art. We can do that, and it's done. But to be fair, I've only read the first part, and to be fair, even in that first part where he says contemplation. So when Marcus speaks of contemplation, okay, I have these other notes. I'm not going to go back into those notes. It automatically opened the notes that I've made from this book because I've read it before. So he's saying that contemplation is essential to knowing the true knowledge of things, both divine and human. So obviously there he touches on two levels of existence. There's the divine and human, or he's talking about the overlap of the two or the distinction of the two. That is possible. But he's definitely aware of the spiritual aspect. And it's good that he has emphasized on the intellective faculty, because he's seeing that in the context of age, and how as there's a physical decline in a human being, the abilities, the intellective faculty goes through a decline. Those older people who have a good mind, excuse me. Yes, those older people who have a good mind late into life, that's a good thing to have. It also is kind of unfair sometimes because their minds are so good and their bodies haven't been able to keep up, which will happen. It's very desirable to have the body and mind stay in good shape, but it's more, it's beyond one's control after a point. So he accepts the reality of daily waste and decay. Well, it might not be perceived on a daily basis, but essentially he is cognizant of entropy. And he's giving a very far-sighted understanding. The last line that I read, whereby thou art enabled to know the true nature of things and to order all thy actions by that knowledge, doth daily waste and decay, or may fail thee before thou die. He spoke of haste, why there has to be eagerness. We cannot postpone things. Things that he's talking about, the important things. So, in view of this, that a man's best is right now, in terms of the ability a person has, take that in context. Because it might be that some person is not feeling well today and giving oneself rest. And 2 days from now, 3 days from now, he might be feeling better. Better than how he's feeling now. But, this is a book. And the book is a basis for meditation. And Marcus's grief, he is inviting meditation upon his meditations. Good lesson. He wants a man to be prompt, to use his ability, to devote that ability to many things, but to know the true nature of things. I like that phrase, the true nature of things. Thank you for your time. I enjoyed my session. Thank you. Marcus, thank you.